All right, it is May 20, 2022, here at Boardwalk Hall. One of you out there asked about a tour of all the 32-foot stops in the organ. Since we spent so much time on the 64, I thought, yeah, okay, fair enough, that works for me. So you want it, you got it. So we're not going to go in order of voice number or anything like that. I'm just going to go in order of what's convenient for me to move the camera around. So we're starting here in the right main chamber with, of all things, voice number 1. This guy right here. Now, if you've ever taken the tour of the organ, visited the hall and started out from the organ shop, this is the first rank you come to, and there's the stairwell right here to tour with. Now, I'll note, for the organ builders out there, this pipe that I'm standing next to, this is the voice number 1 tibia clausa 32-foot. This pipe right here is C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F. This is low F sharp. This isn't low C. It's much bigger than this on the other end of the chest. And even F sharp here, 22 inches wide by 26 inches deep. And the mouth height is exactly 1 foot. And this is on 20 inches of wind. Now, my thought on this one is that if you ever come to the hall and hear this, this is one of the most effective 32s in the organ. It is amazing. It moves a lot of air, and it's almost a pure sine wave, the way a tibia is supposed to be. In certain parts of the room, it almost feels like you're getting your ears boxed a little bit. It's that effective, and which is even more amazing because we're way down below the level of the tone openings here. And this thing just does its job beautifully. It continues on. Actually, the rank continues right next to the camera there. You can't see it. But voice number 1, winner in my book. The Stephen Smith book says that it was originally intended to be a smaller scale, and Emerson and Richards made it bigger, and it had to be squeezed onto the chest. And there's a couple of inches of gap there between F sharp and F, but later on in the progression, the pipes are right up against each other, no space at all. So I'm sure it would have been a lot of fun for the installation crew. All right, now we're going to go to the other side of right main and take a look at the 32s over there. Okay, I've moved over to the left side of the right main chamber, and I'm here with voice number 21, sub-principal, which is actually extended from the grate. It's not considered a pedal stop, but whatever, it plays in the pedal independently. And how do I know that it's voice number 21? That's what it says on the little label, Vern. Rest in peace, Jim Varney. So this is absolutely magnificent, and I think of this as being sort of the forgotten 32. A lot of people don't remember it's here. Somebody asked a while back about a wood open 32 in the right chamber. I forgot. I didn't know where it was. I forgot I even had one, and so Nathan showed me up here. And so this is low C right here. Oh, it says right here, voice 21 also. And this is 18.5 inches wide by about 22 inches deep at low C. Now, if you've seen the video that Bill Banks uploaded of me sitting on top of some pipes way up there with reeds on one side and flues on the other, this is the pipe I was sitting on top of. And to give you some idea how massive this whole organ is and the whole project, this is low C of the 32-foot wood open, right? We're about, there's nobody else here, I'm about 10 feet off the floor of the chamber. This isn't mitered. It's sitting on chest 10 feet off the floor, and it goes straight up, and there's still space above the top of the pipe. So, but this has a beautiful purring quality, almost a little bit like a violon, because it's not a huge scale for a 32-foot wood open. It's very moderate and beautiful, very clean, very precise sound, and for what it does, I think it's just really nice. Now on this side over here, we have the 32-foot bombardon. I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce that, bombardon. And this is on 35 inches of wind. This is on 20, I think, the wood one. This is on 35, and it's the big reed sound on this side of the organ, besides the diaphone, which goes down to 64, of course. But this guy right here, very, very powerful. Metal resonators with the reinforced bands around the nodal point. Incredibly thick, heavy construction on these things. And for reference, in case you're not familiar with this, this is the wood open right here that I was describing, and then low F sharp of the sub-principal is here, and then we go to 64-foot diaphones in front, and the 64-foot diaphones continue back there in that row behind these 32s. The 32-foot bombardon, whatever, low C is here in this back corner. Again, 32 feet, straight up, straight no chaser, straight no miters. Incredibly powerful, real powerhouse division here. But again, I like to think of the sub-principal as being the key player in this area, because we got plenty of big stuff elsewhere. So I'm going to move the camera again and go on to the next one. Okay, now I was standing right in that spot, right? And so the 32-foot number 21 is on that side, bombardon, voice 8 is on that side, and then as you turn right, there's part of the 64-foot diaphone behind them. And you can see all the reeds, the bombardon reeds with the reinforcing collars on them and the slotted tuning sleeves. Now, even though it's not counted as a separate 32-foot stop, if we turn left past the bass drum and keep going, there's this little shelf area, and this is where the 32-foot octave of the diaphone is, which is of course famously extended to 64-foot, but the 32-foot octave goes up into this area beyond the percussions that you see there. Those pipes that I'm shining the light on in the back there, that corner right there, that's the 32-foot octave of the, what they call Dulcian, but is a diaphone that's extended to famously extended to 64. And down there, past the bass drum, is the wind regulator for the diaphone slash Dulcian. There's steps leading up to this area. And as Carl Hersom pointed out, I think B, low B of the 64-foot is right there. I'm shining the light on. If you stand in this corner and play that note, it is just wickedly reverberant and incredibly powerful, and it will give you chest compressions. It's pretty amazing. So anyway, that should pretty much do it for the right main chamber. This is part of the 64-foot diaphone here, by the way. So now it's time to move the camera and set up camp in the left main. Okay, over here in the left main chamber, we have voice number 12, diapason. This bad boy, very famous. There's a picture, which everybody's seen, of the pipe makers before the organ was completely installed. One man is sitting on top of low C, while another one has a pipe that's only this tall in front of him. This is one, again, a remarkable feat of organ building and engineering, because the zinc on these things is like 5/16, 7-inch thick. And there's this story about using a smokestack rolling machine to roll the zinc on these pipes. I guess it's true. I don't know how else they would have done it, because you certainly couldn't do it with a hammer and mandrel the conventional way. Low C right here, I'm about 6 feet tall, and I'm not even, the lower lip of the pipe is right here. The roller beard is about, well, let's see. The roller beard is 7 inches in diameter. And there's a half there, but when was the last time you saw a roller beard 7 inches around? I guess there may be some out there, but I don't know. These are double languid pipes, as if building something this big and heavy wasn't complicated enough already. You probably can't see it from the angle that the camera is, but the languid goes back and then it curves up at the back of the pipe, which hard to show with this camera because it's on the tripod. But these are double languid, and when you stand in front of them and they're playing, the wind coming out feels almost like solid pulses. It doesn't even feel like it's a flue pipe. It's very harmonically bright for what it is, and it really goes. Very famous. You can't see it where you are, but the pipes are actually, the body of the pipe is actually bolted with an iron strap to the foot, bolted together on the sides. Quite an impressive piece of work, and well worth it. The pipes from here continue up above and continue on up. It's impossible to get really good shots of the height of these things because there's just no way to show with the walkboards in the way, the nice open views of how tall these are. But maybe I'll take the camera off the tripod and try to get some shots of the close-ups here. Okay, this is kind of a difficult shot to get, but this is C sharp, D. This is D sharp right here. And there you can see the straps that they put on just the bottom 4 pipes to hold them together. I'm not sure exactly why they had to do that. And then inside the pipe, there you can see the second languid. And see how it curves up at the back. I can't really see what I'm doing here. It's hard to coordinate this shot. But there you can see the thing about the double languid is that it does not go all the way to the back of the pipe and seal it off. There is communication between the rest of the wind sheet. And there you can see another strap on the inside down there. All right, I'm going to give 10 points extra credit for anybody that can identify which number rank we're looking at now. You have 5 seconds. If you guessed voice number 11, you're right. So we're still in pedal left, and this is just, I almost could have just panned over to this one from the diapason, but part of this offset blocks the view. So this is voice number 11, diaphone on 50 inches of wind. Yes, this is, I would say, probably the most powerful 32-foot stop in the organ. This thing is pretty intense. So we have the bottom octave of it here, and then it goes different places. I chose this spot for the shot here because this is low C, I believe, right here. And if you pan up, it just keeps going and going and going and going and going and going. It disappears up there. That's the limit of the camera's travel up there, but way up there, you have the forest of pipes, which I will show later, and I have a story about that. It's about, what is the scale on that one? About 30 inches square at low C, but we'll go up there in a minute. So again, voice number 11, diaphone. Okay, staying right here, almost in exactly the same spot in the left main chamber, there's the diapason, and then if we pan upward, and you saw this on my left chamber tour, those wood resonators up there, that is the 32-foot bombard, which is voice number 18. And it's on a chest, again, about 10 feet off the ground. No mitering, straight up, with the upper part of the 32-foot diapason behind it. And again, hard to be able to get a sense of how tall everything is because everything just gets blocked by walkboards. But that is also on 50 inches of wind. And it's about as terrifying as the diaphone. I'll show you up on the top there, the way they nestled the pipes together to fit them all in is kind of interesting. Now, one other thing I'll note here is that coming down here, here's the bottom of the diaphone, but I forgot about this. They alternated every other note diaphone with a bombard going along there on this chest. All on 50 inches of wind, of course. But there you have another bombard note, then a diaphone, then a bombard, then a diaphone, and ending with low C of the diaphone right there. And then you have these, the massive tops of those ranks right here. Okay, so that's all the high pressure stuff from down below. Time to move the camera up and on to the next level. Okay, moving on to a taller walkboard here. We have voice number 19, Fagato, which many of you saw from the tuning video that we did a few years ago. This is the smallest of all the 32s and is on 20 inches of wind. Full length, of course. None of the 32s are half length except for the tibia, which is a stopped pipe, of course. I was really looking forward to hearing this thing getting going, and quite frankly, I find it incredibly disappointing. I think this is the least effective 32 in the organ. It has a strange kind of Regal-ish sound. It has kind of a breathy sound. It's like my opinion, of course, like the reed tongue doesn't completely close against the shallot on every cycle. It's like it's letting some air through, and it has this kind of breathy sound, and it's not very solid sounding for some reason. I think this was very late in the game of this organ. And here you see the top of the rank in front here. I'm just not sure what the story is on the thing. When we go up above here, you'll see that the resonator lengths are kind of strange. But there's the 16-foot octave there. I think it's an 85 note unit. I don't remember. Now normally there would be a whole bunch of pipes in between this front rank here and those back there. But some of the 50-inch bombard is, the chest is being rebuilt, and that was what some other folks did on the symposium that was just held here, repairing that chest. Because 50-inch pressure is hard on pneumatic stuff. So with that, I'm going to move to the upper part of this chamber so you can see the tops of these things. All right, so here I am, top of the chamber. You've seen this shot before, I'm sure, other places, but I'm on top of the 32-foot diaphone and bombard combination area over here. There's voice number 18, bombard, and that pipe right there is low C. And just to give you an idea, of course, as I said, I'm roughly 6 feet tall and almost as wide, and so it's just, the scale is crazy. And just to give an idea, low C of the bombard is, just to measure it myself here, .28 inches, is it square? Yeah, well that's about 29 inches. 29 inches square at the top, and the lumber is 2.5 inches thick. Now you think about that, when this organ was built, these pipes, they're not joined anywhere lengthwise, and there are no knots in the wood anywhere, nowhere. One piece of wood, 30-some feet tall, over and over and over. That's what they could do back then. As I carefully come back down. I think it's worth taking the camera off the tripod. Well, yeah. I'll just take the whole tripod. I'll pause here for a second. So, the organ was not really built with videography in mind. You have to forgive them. But there is the diaphone. Remember I said that they kind of nested inside each other. So there's the diaphone coming up, and there are bombard notes that are shorter in between the pipes on the bottom of the chest. Going up like that. And there's low C of the diaphone back there. And then behind it, the pipes of the bombard march the other way, so that they would all fit in at the top. At the bottom of the chest, of course, there's tons of space, but up here, not so much. Now I'm going to gently move back here. I'm going to turn the camera around. And there's the grill out to the auditorium. And there is the top of the Fagotto. Notice that we can see it because the Stentor Sesquialtera is out for repair right now. The chest has been re-leathered. And I'll zoom in on one of those. You can see all that nice new leather in there. First time it's been redone since the organ was built. That's pretty good lifespan. But that's the top of the resonators of the 32-foot Fagotto. And if you look, the lengths don't really make sense. I mean, there's one, like I said, it's D sharp, and then C sharp and D are very close in length, and then low C is much taller. And the boots do not correspond to that kind of length difference down below. They're all the same. So I'm not sure what the story on that one was. And of course, from the dizzying heights, you can look down and down and down, 40 feet to the chamber floor, all the way down there in the end of the shot. Nope, the autofocus got messed up. Come on. Focus. There we go. All right, so that's it for up here in the main chambers. Now things get interesting with the ceiling chambers. Okay, I am up here in the echo division, all the way up here in the ceiling for voice number 298, Violone. And the shooting conditions up here are challenging, should we say. But the Violone, number 298, is against the back wall of the echo chamber, which I'll shine the flashlight over there. Obviously, not much ceiling height in this chamber, so they are laying down. And they go the full length of the chamber all the way to the end. So the entire bottom octave is lying on its side back here. You can see the rest of the organ up there, the echo division with the ceiling girders and everything. Obviously, I've switched to my little Sony handheld camera because the Panasonic is a little bit much of a handful to climb up the ladder with. But these pipes go all the way along the side here, along the back of the chamber, and there's the keying room, and there's one on the fanfare side as well. You can see all the way to the very end, there's low C in the very corner there, so it takes up the full length of the echo chamber. I'm looking down the other way. That's where I just was. Wood rank, double languid, 25 inches of wind. Not in bad shape, really. And interestingly, here's one that they couldn't get them up here in one piece. So they had to turnbuckle them. Make fittings to bring them up here in two pieces. And there you can see the second languid. So it has a metal cap over the roller beard of wood, and that has a regular wood languid, and then it has a second languid in there. So as I say, the bottom 4 notes are in the back, and then some more, and then some more. And then there's actually a big, relatively open space in here. I can't wait to hear this thing play again someday because I love wood violons. I think the Boston Symphony Hall organ had one. It's probably still there after the rebuild, I assume. And Washington National Cathedral, I think, had a wood violon 32. They just purr like crazy. Metal pipes can get the job done, but the wood seems to just be a little bit more incisive and happier. So, okay, so on to our last stop, fanfare. Okay, climbed all the way up here to the fanfare division for a last stop on the tour, and it's kind of sad because all I can show you, voice number 299, 32-foot trombone, is that. Right there, that piece of wood in the middle of the frame. That's the top of the low C resonator sticking into the chamber. Apparently, the rest of the bombard used to speak through a hole here into the fanfare chamber, and it's all been walled up. And it's impossible to climb around this chamber and try to get a shot outside because it requires safety equipment, and it's just not possible. So that's it, that's all that's left. So obviously to reinstate voice number 299 is going to take some doing, because there it is. There's the end of the one pipe that's still here. We'll look down the length of the pipe there. That's it. That's all there is. So that's the final 32 on our stop, on our tour. Final stop on the tour, it's what I meant to say, from the fanfare division. Hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for more. Hopefully I'll get some more knocked out today.